December 15th, 1900. The fog rolled in thick this morning, dense as wool. Visibility is nearly zero. I spent the day on routine maintenance, oiling the light, polishing the lenses, sweeping the salt from the lantern room. I've kept this post for years, but I've never seen fog like this. Pressing in as if trying to swallow the lighthouse whole. No vessels have passed in days, and I'm still waiting on my relief to arrive from the mainland. It feels as though I'm the only soul left out here, at the edge of the world. December 15th, 1900. I've lit the lantern as usual. No response from the mainland. I've signaled twice, but there's nothing. I don't know why. The line has been steady for years, yet tonight, it's as if I'm calling out into an empty void. Tried to read a bit before bed, but the silence here is so loud it's hard to focus. Sometimes I feel the fog creeping in through the windows, pressing against the walls as if it's alive. Can't shake the feeling that someone's watching. December 16th, 1900. Fog persists. Can't even see the water below the cliffs. I went to check the generator earlier and thought I saw something. A figure just at the edge of the beam standing still in the mist. When I approached, it was gone. Likely just a trick of the fog, nothing more. Silence makes the mind wander. December 17th, 1900. The light failed this evening. Took hours to repair. Nearly went blind in the dark. Felt like someone else was here with me, watching from the shadows. Found strange scratches along the base of the lighthouse stairs. Deep gouges, as if made by a blade. Perhaps it's only my nerves, but I feel haunted. The isolation is getting to me. December 18th, 1900. Saw another figure tonight. A man, or at least I thought it was one. He stood at the base of the lighthouse, just beyond the reach of the lantern's glow, his shape blurred by the fog. He was looking up, staring directly at the light, unmoving. When I called out, he didn't respond, didn't even flinch, just stood there in silence, watching. I couldn't shake the sight of him, so I threw on my jacket, grabbed the torch and headed outside. The night air was biting, and the fog wrapped around me thick as wool. I reached the base of the tower, scanning the ground where I'd seen him, calling out again, but there was nothing. No footprints, no sign that anyone had been there. Just empty mist, shifting and swirling in the light of my torch. I returned inside, telling myself it was only a trick of the fog. But the silence here is different tonight, heavier somehow. I'm starting to wonder if I'm not alone out here after all. Could be the relief. But then again, why so late, and why not show himself? December 19th, 1900. The fog hasn't lifted. The silence is oppressive, pressing down as if it has weight. I tried sending a signal for resupply again, but there's been no response. I don't know if my messages are even reaching the mainland. While cleaning the lower levels today, I found a loose note tucked between the pages of an old logbook, written in a neat, unfamiliar hand. The date at the top read, June 12, 1963. At first, I thought it must be some piece of fiction left behind by a previous keeper, a strange joke or an attempt to pass the time, but the details struck me as unsettlingly familiar. It described the fog thick as ever, the oppressive silence, and the feeling of someone watching from the shadows. It ended with a simple line. I don't think I'm alone in this place. I keep telling myself it's just an old story, something another keeper wrote to amuse himself during the long stretches of isolation, but somehow I can't shake the feeling that there's something more to it. December 19th, 1900. I miss voices. I miss people. Sometimes I think I hear whispers echoing down the stairs, but when I follow the sound, it's gone. It's almost laughable. I could start believing this place is haunted if I weren't careful. Maybe it's just the silence getting to me, or maybe I'm finally losing my mind out here. Still, It's unsettling, hearing things I know shouldn't be there. December 20th, 1900. Strange dreams last night. So vivid I can still feel them lingering. I saw people moving around the lighthouse. Figures I didn't recognize. They were going about their routines as if I wasn't even there, passing me by without a glance. I tried to call out, but no sound came. When I woke, I was standing in the lantern room, hand pressed to the glass, skin cold as ice. I don't remember getting out of bed. It's unsettling, feeling as though I'm slipping out of myself, as if I'm fading into something else. I need to get out of here soon. December 21st, 1900. Swear there was someone on the staircase tonight. I heard soft footsteps, felt a presence following me as I walked down the stairs. Could have sworn I heard breathing, but when I turned, the staircase was empty. The scratches on the stairs seem deeper, like they're carving themselves into the wood. Every night, they multiply. Maybe this place is haunted. I can't explain it any other way. December 21st, 1900, evening. I'm losing track of the days. Sometimes I think I see figures in the mist, men moving through the fog, watching the light. They look up, but their faces are blurry, like shadows. I can't tell if they're real or if it's all in my mind. Tonight, I saw ships out on the water, faint outlines against the fog. I tried signaling, but they didn't respond, just drifted silently, disappearing back into the mist as if they'd never been there at all. It's as if everything beyond this tower is slipping further away, ignoring me, leaving me behind. December 22nd, 1900. The fog never lifts. Days blend together, and I'm beginning to wonder if anyone is even out there. I keep sending signals again and again, but there's no response, just silence pressing in from all sides. It's maddening. The food is running low, but strangely I feel no hunger. I should be freezing by now, but the cold barely touches me. I spotted that figure again, standing alone on the cliffs, staring out over the sea. He looked strangely familiar, same build, same stance, but something about him felt different, wrong somehow, as though he was both real and unreal at once. His clothes resembled mine, his movements too, yet there was something unnervingly distant about him, like he was only half here. I tried to call out, but he didn't seem to hear me. He just stood there, watching the horizon, but then he suddenly turned and looked directly at me before the mist took him. What is happening here? December 24th, 1900. It feels like I've been here forever. I went to check the logbook today, only to find pages filled with entries I don't remember writing. They're in an unfamiliar hand, each dated sometime in 1963. Different days scattered across that year, out of place and impossible. One entry described a keeper who was recently standing on the cliff, staring out over the ocean, watching the fog roll in, when he caught a glimpse of a man in the corner of his eye. When he turned, it was gone. My heart nearly stopped when I read it. It was just like what I saw a few nights ago, the figure standing there, looking out over the sea, then turning to look at me before the mist swallowed him up. Another entry mentioned hearing footsteps in the tower, echoing up the stairs in the dead of night, as though someone else were there. It's unsettling, the way these accounts mirror my own actions, as if whoever wrote them experienced the same strange occurrences I have been living through. But how could they know? How are these entries even here? It doesn't make any sense. December 25th, 1900. Christmas today. No sign of resupply. No contact with the mainland. It's been days since I've seen a ship, and the silence feels heavier than ever. I tried to leave the lighthouse, just to walk down to the shore and feel the world outside these walls. But the fog is so thick, it's like a solid wall pressing in on all sides. Every step I took toward the water, the mist only grew denser, swallowing up the path in front of me. I walked until I couldn't see the tower anymore, until I felt completely lost in a white, endless void. And then, somehow, I found myself back at the lighthouse door. It's as if this place won't let me go, as if the fog itself is keeping me here. December 26th, 1900. Sometimes, when the wind is still, I think I hear something faint over the cliffs, the sound of waves crashing, a distant cry. It stirs something in me, an old instinct to look to the sea, as if searching for wreckage. It reminds me of the shipwrecks I used to watch for in storms, the desperate calls for help lost in the dark. A memory surfaces, foggy and broken, a storm, waves pounding against the rocks, a flash of lightning, and then a cry in the darkness, echoing out over the water. I can almost feel the cold bite of the rain, the wind pulling me toward the cliffs, but the details slip away before I can catch them. Strange to think I could forget a storm like that. December 28th, 1900. The fog lifted today, just enough to see the sea below. But something's wrong. The water, it's too still. Dark as ink, flat as glass, reflecting nothing, not even the sky. It's as if the ocean itself has gone dead, waiting, holding its breath. I can't shake the feeling it's watching me, waiting to pull me under, to claim me once and for all. I laughed at the thought, or maybe I cried, I don't know anymore. I keep this light burning night after night, marking this shore for ships that never come, for people who don't even know I'm here. I'm trapped. In 1963, a lighthouse keeper stationed at Flannan Isle discovered a journal hidden in the tower, seemingly written by Edmund Farrow, a lighthouse keeper from the early 1900s who vanished without a trace. The journal described eerie encounters and ghostly figures in the fog, unsettlingly similar to events experienced by the keeper who found it. To this day, the journal is a source of fierce debate. Believers in the paranormal claim it as undeniable proof of a spirit bound to the lighthouse, reliving his isolation. Skeptics argue it was a hoax, a story fabricated for fame by the 1963 keeper himself. But what remains indisputable is the existence of Edmund Farrow, and the fact that he disappeared over 60 years before anyone found his alleged words in the lighthouse.